Hey, happy Mother's Day. I know for a lot of people, Mother's Day is complicated. It may be that you've lost your mom and today is painful because you miss her. We pray for you. For some of you, maybe you have a complicated relationship with your mom and we pray for you today and for healing in that relationship. For some of you, you've been trying to have children and we want to pray for you. We actually pray over people and encourage them and love them. For some of you, you're just tired as a mom. And we're around a lot of young families. We have children that have children, and we get to see this firsthand. And there's so much pressure on women, especially moms, because you got religious pressure. Are we godly enough? Are we going to church enough? You got social pressure. Are we active enough? Are we keeping our kids in the right place, the right school, the right sports? You got personal pressure. I just feel like a failure. And then you have social media pressure where you're getting to see all these people on Facebook and Instagram and Snapchat and all the things you look at, and you only get to see the best part of them. You get to see only the filtered version of them, and it can be kind of depressing when you compare yourselves to these people, and it's not real, it's fantasy. 3 weeks ago, I saw the story, as many of you did, that Khloe Kardashian was so upset because someone had leaked an unfiltered picture of her. She's 36 and she has a baby, she's a mom. And she was so discouraged. And I thought, wow, if you're Khloe Kardashian and you're depressed because of your appearance, because here you got to do all these things, and then you got to look hot all the time doing it, and that's impossible. And the book of Proverbs really helps us. The Bible is so good. In Proverbs 31, he says this in verse 30, charm is deceptive and beauty is fleeting, but a woman who honors and reveres the Lord is to be praised and celebrated. So if you want to know how to be a P31, Proverbs 31 woman, I'm not going to read that, but you can see it's by reverencing God. Like if you want to kind of have more confidence in being a mom, if you want to feel better about yourself, even when things are falling apart, you just remember that when you reverence God, when you're really trying to build your relationship with Him, He lifts you up. He takes care of you. He encourages you. 3 things from Proverbs 31 that I want you to get. And it can be real depressing if you don't know the whole story that I'm going to give you here at the end. But there's 3 things about Proverbs 31 and the whole description of King Lemuel of this Proverbs woman, this amazing woman. And the first is moms who honor the Lord have a powerful influence on their family. I mean, if you honor the Lord, you're going to have an influence on your family that is unbelievable. Now, dads are fun. We know that, but moms mean business. And God created women to be unique and special in a corresponding way, different than a man. So in Genesis chapter 2, when you've read through Genesis chapter 1, it is good, is good, is good, is good. And then all of a sudden you get to Adam, is all alone, and God says it's not good, not just because he'd be lonely or always lost, but because we need women. Well, we need that person. God understood that there was not a completeness without this special uniqueness that only women can bring into the world. And women have supernatural power. I can't explain it. I mean, they have intuition, they have grit, they can't do everything, but they can get it done. My mom, and this is 50 years ago, I remember I was playing football and I needed a new helmet and there was no place in Hamilton, a small town, to buy a helmet. And my mother decided I needed a helmet where I wouldn't get hurt. And so she drove me an hour to Florence, Alabama. We walked in a Riddell sporting goods store. And of course, the guy sold us the most expensive helmet in there, probably for a college football player. But my mom wanted me to have it. And I remember when we got to the counter and she said, how much? And he told her, and it's like $64 or $74. And I remember her reaching down in her purse and finding enough money to buy that helmet. That's just the way moms are. I mean, moms make things happen that seem impossible. Secondly, moms have invaluable expertise in about every field. And I love this about Proverbs 31 because this was written 2,700 years ago. And the writer is saying, hey, women are amazing. The Bible is not a male chauvinistic book. The Bible's not just a book written by men for men. Listen to what he says about this woman. He says that she's like a CEO. She's like a real estate mogul. She has international business skills. She builds systems to help the poor. She teaches with authority. She manages her household. She creates opportunities for her husband. Men, encourage your wives. Children, encourage your mom to chase her dreams, to do things that she's really able to do. Listen, husbands, the fastest way to kill something good is to compare it to something else. Don't compare your wife to other people. Don't say, if you just only do that, or if you don't do that. Let her be who she is. Let her be who God has created her to be, and encourage her in that. Thirdly, moms who honor God, they deserve affirmation. I mean, they deserve for you to build them up, and not just once a year. I don't know if you know this, but Proverbs 31 is still read in the Jewish homes where they are practicing Jews. When on Shabbat, at the evening meal, they read Proverbs 31 to honor the mom, to honor the matriarch. And this is just part of what they read. Her children arise and call her blessed. Her husband also, he praises her, and he says, many women do noble things, but you surpass them all. And that ought to be a part of our language. Now, moms, let me give you some, to help you manage expectations. There's kind of seasons where you get this more and seasons where you get encouragement less from your children. When they're 4, it's my mom can do anything. When your children are 12, well, my mom can't do everything. She can do a lot of things. At 15, my mom can't do anything. I don't know who she is. At 25, my mom can do a few things. At 30, my mom can do a lot of things. At 45, I wonder what my mom would do. And at 65, I wish I could talk to my mom. Listen, honoring your mom is such a big deal that God put it in the top 5 of the 10 commandments. He says, honor your father and your mother so that your life may go well, that you'd live a long time on this earth. You say, well, how about Proverbs 31? I'm still messed up because I can't do all that. Well, let me give you an angle that God kind of gave to me a couple of weeks ago, and I'd never heard this before. I'd never even thought about that. I never heard anybody say this. But the idea is that King Lemuel, the one dedicated to the Lord, is Solomon, and that was his mother's pet name for him, Bathsheba. And he's looking at his mom through the lens of a son that's really a mama's boy, and saying, this is how I see her. Now, you got to remember who Bathsheba was, because a lot of women say, well, I've done this or I've done that, or I got a bad reputation. There's no way that I could ever be that kind of mom. No way I could be that kind of woman. That's just not true. I mean, when David called Bathsheba to come to the palace and they were together and David had her husband killed, it was like on Dateline Palestine. They brought in Old Testament Oprah to talk about the firm. And here's a person that is seen by his mom, by his son, as an amazing mom. You say, well, I don't have a son like that. Yeah, but you've got another son named Jesus. He sees you through the lens of the cross, that when you give yourself to him, you receive amazing things from him, and he lifts you up. All through the genealogy of Jesus, you see Tamar and Rahab and Ruth and Bathsheba, grandmothers of Jesus who didn't have it all together until they came to faith. We pray that you have a happy Mother's Day and that you're blessed today.